Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, and welcome to episode 26 of Sunday Morning Coffee with Caryn. That's me. Today's episode is all about how you need to just go ahead and jump into the life that you want, jump into the leadership positions, stop stalling, stop overthinking, because when you stall and overthink and get into your head and you get out of your body, you end up crippling whatever magic was going on when it gave you the opportunity. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. The biggest reason why I wanted to do this live stream, honestly, is because of the fact that there is a lot of talk about magic in my sphere, at least, because I am a metaphysical based coach. So I teach you how to use super conscious, like things that you would consider magic. It's really old, ancient history. A lot of this we've learned already in our past lives. So it's more of a remembering than a learning, okay? Super consciousness is really like what the ancient Egyptians were tapped into, and what, sorry, I feel like I need to back up a little bit. What the ancient Egyptians were doing, and Instagram, let me turn up the brightness so I can see you. Jesus, Louise, hello, hi, hello, gorgeous. And so but magic is like instant, right? We have to remember that when we are moving towards higher planes of consciousness, we're also moving away from slow. Okay, we have to remember that slow should no longer be your normal. Fast, rapid fire ascension is where you're at, especially for tons of my clients, tons of you guys who are watching. Who have been wondering, like, why is it that I'm so good at taking shortcuts? Because we've kind of been taught our whole life that taking shortcuts is cheating, right? Who here, give me some love, some hearts, some likes, if you've ever been told that taking a shortcut is actually cheating. Okay, I know I have. I've definitely been told that. I love Instagram. It makes me laugh so hard. Okay, we're gonna move this guy over here so I can see comments on Facebook. Bookface. Okay, hold on. All right. Yeah, so when you're working with magic, you have to remember that you are no longer working on the best way that I explain it is like 1990s dial-up compared to like fiber optics internet right now. If you compared the two, it's like it's day and night, right? We are upgrading. Yesterday's live stream, if you guys caught it, was all about the next level consciousness of this, of being able to really connect all the way up into source, all the way back into the 0 point origination time, and pull all the knowledge of any lifetime of all time into you. Because a God is what? Omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient, right? Omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent, which means that they're all powerful, all knowing, and exist all the time. So if we are continuing to say we are gods in human form, then we have to remember that we actually have access to the knowledge of the entire universe, the wisdom of the entire universe, okay? So why, if you have the wisdom of the entire universe, why do you have to think about things? Why do you have to sit there and think? Okay, I have to make a decision. So when you're moving from the old way, the 1990s dial-up way, the way that we've kind of pretty much been living since, honestly, guys, 2018. A lot of you, a lot of my clients, even me personally, 2018 to 2020 is like the same amount of time as 2012 to 2018. Like, time is just collapsing and getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Anybody else experiencing this? Give me some likes, some hearts, some loves. Hey there. Hello, everyone. Sorry, it's like so annoying that I have to look down there, but if I angle Instagram up too high, they see my closet, because I'm in a closet. Okay, done. Let's see if there's any fast track it. Yes, Matthew and Christina both are in the challenge, the Fearlessly Authentic Leadership Challenge. So I'm so excited for them to be in here, and they get it. Like, that's part of the other reason why I wanted to do this live, is to motivate, not even motivate, inspire. Don't motivate. We actually talk about that on day 4 of the challenge. We're going to be talking about inspiration versus motivation, to inspire more people to jump into it. So let's go into it. The three ways, the 3 big ways that you are that you being but you stalling. Stalling really comes down to normally it's being in that old paradigm. It's being in the paradigm of I gotta look before I leap. I gotta make calculated risks. I gotta really think about it. I gotta go talk to my husband or my spouse. I gotta go check on some things instead of feeling into your gut and knowing the answer and acting on it. So that's the fearless intuitive action that we did in the live stream on the 20th. So I've done a lot of lives this week, which is not very normal for me. I normally only do this weekly live stream and maybe one over other every now and then, but this week was full of numerological awesomeness. So on 2/20/2020, I did a live stream, Dragon Invocation, where we dismantled fear of missing out and fear of messing up and installed instead fearless intuitive action. So that gut feeling where you just go for it, like, okay, fuck it, let's do it. Like that's how I know, is if my body goes like, ah, fuck it, just go ahead, then I know that that's my intuitive action. But your body might say something different. I also feel mine like right in my sternum, like right under, so it's the solar plexus. A lot of you guys don't know, I have a tattoo right here. So it's like right where, oh, you guys can't see it on Facebook. I have a tattoo, like a third eye tattoo. So like right there, that's like my own inner knowing. Instead of my third eye being up here, my third eye is like in my solar plexus, right? So that gut feeling, I've always had that. So I didn't mean to like be stripping for y'all. So when we do that, we need to figure out why. Why would I care about knowing that? It's because, okay, number three, like, I don't know why I do 3, 2, 1, whatever. They're all like equal. We're all equal. Everyone's equal. I'm not above you, or you're not below me, like whatever. But one of the ways is that your big brain is actually giving you blue balls, okay? I'm gonna say that again. Your big brain, are you a manifesting, yeah, Matthew, I am a manifesting generator. Isn't that obvious? Yes, I am, and so is my daughter. My husband is a projector. Yeah, knew it. Yeah, definitely a manifesting generator. So if that helps any of you guys who do human design, want to know why I am the way I am, that's a big reason. And I'm like one of those human manifesting generators that when people who do human design, they're like, all of your channels are open. This is weird. What the hell? And then I tell them I've been around for 80,000 lifetimes. And they're like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, my camera's falling. Sorry, Instagram, you're falling over. You're just gonna have to look up into my closet. I'm sorry, just deal with it. So your big brain is giving you blue balls. What does that mean? Well, let's first talk about the term blue balls because some of you guys might not know what that means. Blue balls is the term that lots of guys use, at least in my generation, that is used for when a guy gets turned on but then doesn't get off all the way. So it usually happens at like the strip club, or I know that I used to be like, people used to accuse me of purposefully giving them blue balls. I wasn't doing it on purpose, but that's what ended up happening. Because I didn't understand that that was something that could happen. I didn't realize that like kissing and grinding and making out with my boyfriend but not having sex with him was going to cause him physical discomfort, right? So your big brain is actually doing that to you. It's causing you this discomfort that you want to go, you want to get off, right? You want to ejaculate, you want to birth, okay? I know I said blue balls. There's not really a woman equivalent of that. So it's the best thing that I could, you guys know that I channel everything that I do. Like I hardly ever have notes. I actually do have notes today, but it's literally just like 3, 2, 1. And then I get to riff on the rest of it because that's how it works. If you guys join the challenge, it's the same thing. I have the questions in the workbook. So we'll definitely be covering that, and we have the general topics, but everything else is going to be channeled purely based on who's in the group. So that's why like the more people in the group, the more we're actually going to be able to get really delicious activations and knowledge. Hello, everyone. I just want to make sure you guys don't understand the Jimmy rigging I have over here. So I have to make sure I can see comments and shit like that. It's pretty hilarious. So you have this feeling. So for women, it's the equivalent I usually always use is you have a baby stuck in the birth canal. But I apparently needed to find a more masculine analogy for some people. So your big brain is giving you blue balls. Your big brain, as in that gorgeous, amazing, intellectual awesomeness that probably got you called a nerd in school, that probably got you called bossy, that probably got you actually into a lot of freaking trouble in many ways because your teachers and your classmates and your friends just didn't understand how to handle you. You were able to seem all these moving parts. Lots of leaders actually have the same mentality as like a producer in a play, okay, where they can see or a movie where the producer is involved in all of the different little pieces. Like lighting and directing, yeah, they might talk to each other, but like the acting guy isn't usually talking to the lighting guy, right? Like the actor isn't interacting with lighting. So the producer is like not only funding the whole fucking thing, but is also able to see all the moving parts at once. This terrifies adults. It used to, at least. Now I'm a mom who has a son that does this too. It gets really scary because we've been taught that manipulation is a negative thing. We get taught that having a really big brain, unless it can be focused into the sciences, is actually a detriment. And honestly, that big brain of yours can be a detriment to you because you sit there and you analyze everything because you do, and that's what you have to get rid of, okay? Your big brain is giving you blue balls, meaning your big brain is stopping you when there's 1,000 girls out there to fuck and all of them want to fuck you. You're just sitting there like, okay, well, I could fuck her. And then, well, okay, and you bring out a list and you make it and the pros and the cons and you're doing all this stuff. And then she leaves and she's gone. Okay, that goes back to we're no longer working with 1990s dial-up. We're working with 2020 fiber optics. Magic happens instantaneously. So those opportunities that you used to, yes, absolutely, I am not disputing that it used to be totally a great idea for you to get onto the call with someone if you're trying to figure out if you want to work with a new mentor, and then have them send you the paperwork and wait 24 hours while you like got in tune with your guides and did a little praying, maybe checked on some things. That absolutely was an amazing way to run your life until about 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, again, so many of you, Matthew's already said it, Christina, we went through like a freaking wormhole or something. I don't know how else to explain it, but everything is hyperdrive. I don't know how many live streams I've told you guys. A month for me is a year for other people. I don't have a package for longer than 4 months because who I am every 4 months is so not like different, but so much bigger that I could never expect a client to stay with me for any other length of time because those are my cycles. I don't really have a 90-day cycle. I have more like a 4-month cycle, but I also have 3 kids, so I have to deal with that all the time. If I didn't have kids, it would probably be closer to a 90-day cycle. Just more moving parts, right? The more moving parts you have going on, the more people who have to get used to your shifts and changes, the longer it might take. Yeah, so your big brain is giving you blue balls. That's the first thing, okay? Big brain, blue balls. Why, again, is because you're too good at thinking. You can see all of the different pieces instead of seeing like, if you guys watched yesterday's live stream, I talked about the Rick and Morty episode where Rick has a death crystal put into his third eye area, essentially, where he's only focused on the path where he's going to die as an old person with his high school crush. And everything he's doing other than that is focused. You know, he doesn't even know what he's doing. He's just so focused on the end goal. That's where you really need to get and just realize the opportunities that are given to you. You don't have time to sit there and think about it. Magic happens instantaneously. There are so many of you who are like little baby dragons. You know, you popped out of your egg, you found me, you're like, Mama, dragon, what the fuck do I do? And 2 types of dragons find me. Well, 3. There's those who are still like stuck in their egg and they've like cracked their egg open and they're like, how do I get out of here? That's a good chunk of you. There's also those of you who have like popped out of your egg, but you're like, still half in your egg, and you like figured out that you can blow fire, but you're like, you're just trying to blow at anything you can, and you're not even like fully out of your shell yet. And then there's those of you who have been out of your shell for a while. You've been rocking around, you've been exploring, and when something comes up that you want to blow fire at, you wait, and you think about it, and you like, and then you finally, and by the time you get up the strength and get up the nerve and get up the time, okay, it's all going to work out for me, you blow fire and your prey is like in the next jungle over. Okay, so you have to figure out how to be a full-grown mama dragon, daddy dragon, and be able to see what you want, blow fire at it, crisp it up, eat it, and have a great day. And move on to the next thing and the next thing, okay? Light it without blowing it up, right? So that's all those things that we're going to be learning in the Fearlessly Authentic. Hey, Marina, welcome. In the conference this week, we're going to be learning, like, how do you really find that sweet spot where you're using that fire and that passion toward your advantage so that you're not reaching burnout, so you're not committing to doing all the things, so that you can do all the things but still balance the rest of your life and really enjoy your life that you're living. So that's it. So number 1, number 3, whatever the fuck, 1 of 3, your big brain is giving you blue balls. You need to stop thinking so much. Stop. If you realize that you're sitting there and you're like literally making a pros and cons list or a brain like web, back off and then come back down to this second point. So the second point I've already kind of touched on with the pros and cons list. Comparisonitis is a line from A to B that goes nowhere. Okay? So when you're living on the synchronistic grid, when you're living in the land of fiber optic internet, where things are happening instantaneously, you can make a lot of conclusions. Okay, well, because I did this, this happened. Because I did this, this happened. Because I did this, this happened. And your big brain, remember that one that's giving you blue balls, is going to come in and it's going to start trying to make connections of like, oh, okay, so if this happened is what happened last time, so if I repeat this pattern, then I'm going to get the same outcome. That is not how it fucking works anymore. Hi. Hello, Sunil? Did I say that right? Sunil? I have so many new friends, you guys. If I ever pronounce your name wrong, trust me, as someone whose name gets pronounced wrong all the time, feel free to write the phonetic spelling of your name in there, and I will put it into memory, because I've been called all the names on the planet, and I will just have to type in Karen, and then, oh, okay, sorry, Karen. Everything. So yeah, please, if I ever do that. So the comparisonitis, that you can't do that on the synchronistic grid anymore. There's no longer, that's why I said yesterday, like, I don't teach you a system except for how to be yourself, and nobody knows how to be yourself better than you. I am just an amazing mirror. I'm like the smoking mirror, the obsidian. Who you are when no one else is around is who I become for you. I've had dragon invocations where people are sitting at my introductory offer, $147 offer, where people who have never met me before, hadn't known my name 24 hours before, are just spilling every like secrets that they would probably have taken to the fucking grave. And that's because I am such a clear channel for you to get out what it is that you really need to be, like what you know you need to be talking about, instead of, again, the censoring. Okay, and you can be fearless in saying that to me because I am so solid and fearless in who I am. Like, your shit isn't going to affect me. I have heard some of the craziest stories. Seriously, guys, the craziness that my clients tell me have occurred to them, it is not my job to decide whether or not it's true, because it's true for them and it's what they are experiencing. This is why formulas are not fucking working anymore, because every person is different, right? Your fingerprint, even twins, right? They always talk about how even twins have a different fingerprint than each other. It's like the only thing that they can tell the difference between identical twins. You have a unique fingerprint, and each person you come in contact with has a unique fingerprint. So while you can start developing more of a, I call it more of like a process than a system, like what is your end goal? But that still really truly is just knowing yourself and knowing your body and knowing what your body is telling you in any given moment. That is my process. That is why it's so hard for me to make up one of those sentences that everyone likes to see. I help blank to do blank so that they can blank. I don't know what the fuck it is you need. I just know that who's coded to work with me are those leaders who are meant to change the fucking world as fast as possible for the betterment and liberation of all beings on this planet so that we can then join the intergalactic community. I sound like a fucking crazy person if I tried to type that out, right? So it's really hard for me to describe. It's not that I sound like it, it's that it doesn't like click. But when I speak it and I tell it to you, so many of you yesterday were in my inbox telling me, holy shit, what you were talking about made so much sense. Oh my God, I got that download about the elevator like 3 hours after you went live, but I hadn't even watched your shit until this morning. Like all these things that are synchronistic grid, guys. I was getting messages from people who literally didn't know my name last week, who are now like, who are you? What do you do? How do I get involved with you? And it's because I have now fully and completely like locked in who I am. And who I am is the leader who teaches other leaders how to lead. That's a big fucking responsibility. And I'm so fucking excited that that's what I get to do. Help leaders who have reached giant heights go even bigger. Help you to just take a running jump off that fucking cliff and see that you can actually fly. You already have all the resources, okay? So when you're sitting here doing comparisonitis, you're comparing not only how did I get that, like you're trying to figure out, well, how do I do that? How do I do, like, what is my process? What is my system so that I can repeat it? Because when I can repeat it, then I can teach other people. That's, you're just drawing A to B lines. That worked with that person because that's the way it was supposed to work with that person. No, I'm not saying that one or two of the ways that you made that sale or got that backer or closed that deal isn't going to work in other situations because other people have similar backgrounds. What I'm saying is that trying to create a 5-step process anymore, or a 7-step process or system or whatever the hell it is anymore, I hate both of those words, to be honest. Like a recipe. I feel like I'm more giving you, yeah, I'm going to start using, hold on, I got to make a note. I'm not even going to say the word process or system anymore. It's like giving you a recipe for how to live your most authentic life without fear of the consequences, because consequences are neither negative nor positive. They just are. They're just the effect that you caused. So take responsibility for it. Take responsibility for your bills. Somebody trusted you enough to let you borrow the money. So be responsible and pay it back. Be okay with the fact that you haven't reached your sales goals this month, and figure out where in your energy field you are contradicting the goal, because really you should be able to do anything that you want unless you start sending out multiple orders, right? I told this, I don't remember which live it was this week, but I was talking about how you're like putting orders out to the universe, but it's like you place an order for Mexican food and within an hour you've changed your order and you want sushi, and then you change your order again and you actually want Thai, and you keep all day, every day, you keep telling the universe with what you're doing and your actions that you want different food, and the universe is just confused and is all like, she's got 55 different orders from 55 different restaurants and I don't know what the fuck it is she actually wants to eat. Okay, you have to stay consistent in you have to get that brick crystal. Now, it's not a death crystal. It's a big vision crystal. And in one of the days in the challenge, we're going to be talking about your big vision versus your immediate vision, and how you, the action steps you take to reach each one, realizing that each immediate vision is still a stepping stone in the big vision plan. A lot of people would call the big vision like your 5-year plan. I hate time. I literally don't fucking work on linear time very well at all. So I just say big vision because it really, like, you could meet someone tomorrow that helps that big vision come true. It's just the frequency of the big vision. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to give you all a second. Please, let's go ahead and take some comments, some questions. So number one, your big brain is causing you to have blue balls. And number two, comparisonitis. Comparisonitis, I'm not talking about comparing yourself to other people. If that is still an issue that you have, then fuck yes, we need to talk about that. That is authenticity. Most of you guys know how to be authentically you behind closed doors, and it's more how to be you in the world, right? Like you've got that group, or you're like with your clients, you're a certain way, with your best friends, you're that same way. So there's like 3 or 4 different areas in your life that you're consistent, but then you get around your in-laws and you're like a totally different person, or you get around your neighbor and you're a totally different person, or you go to a rally for whatever reason and you're a totally different person. So that's what I mean by fearlessly authentic. Like I said in a post today, whoever you like, to whomever you like, wherever you like, whenever you like, with unconditional love. I can talk all I want about how I don't agree with the President of the United States. It does not mean that I don't hold him in any less regard than I hold myself, because if I did, then I wouldn't be living the principle of true unconditional love. Okay? Unconditional love is what calms the dragons and stops the battles and keeps the rivers from flooding and the fires from burning. The war and the fear really, it's like, again, you guys know I have this obsession with Frozen right now. It's because my daughter, I had 2 boys and then a girl, and my daughter is obsessed with Frozen, and we've got Frozen 1 and Frozen 2 both playing like nonstop at my house right now. And in Frozen 2, not too many spoilers, she literally says, like, that's your fear. Or sorry, in Frozen 1, at the very end of it, that movie was like in 2013, so this is not a spoiler, I'm sorry if you haven't seen it. At the very end, Elsa's been so afraid the entire time. She doesn't know how to reverse the frozenness that she's created in the middle of summer. And Olaf says, love, an act of true love will thaw a frozen heart. And Elsa's just like, oh, love will thaw. And she just thinks about how much she loves her sister who's just sacrificed everything. And in the whole movie, everything's fucking snowing. And in 45 seconds or less, all of the snow is gone, because she finally gets that love will thaw a frozen heart, and that she'd actually been living in so much fear of her own magical power her entire life, so afraid she was going to hurt other people because of one time that she did hurt her sister, that she lived her rest of her life in fear. That is all of you. Every single one of you has an experience in your childhood where you were bossy, where you made the wrong move, where someone that you know and love got hurt because of a choice that you made when you were in the leadership position. And you're fucking terrified that that's what's going to happen again, so that's why you just don't want to lead anymore. Love will thaw. Love yourself. Forgive yourself. Get over these things that happened in your childhood and step into the divineness of who you are. Stop comparing, not only comparing yourself to the other leaders and even comparing yourself to me. I always tell, don't compare yourself to me. See yourself in me. Anything you see in me, it's because you possess the same or more inside yourself. I also trigger the hell out of people for the same reason, though. Because a lot of people are fucking terrified of how powerful they are. They are terrified that they're going to hurt someone. The world is already hurting really fucking bad. Unless you're going to be like Hitler, I don't think there's very much that you can do to fuck it up even more than it's already fucked. Yeah? Okay. No comments. Okay, we're good. So before I give you the number 3 reason, I'm going to talk a little bit about why the Fearlessly Authentic Leadership Conference is not a free challenge. Because I've been getting this all week long. First of all, like, Caryn, how can you have a charged event that you decided to do last week and not be advertising for it, not doing sponsorships? It's because I don't give a fuck how many people are in there. Do you understand? The group that has joined are exactly the people who need to join. So it doesn't matter if I wanted 50 people, wanted 100 people, wanted 200 people. I'm creating this because it's what I need. And one of my standards is that I don't give my services away for free anymore, except for in cases like this. And even then, this isn't services. Well, it is. This is my service. This is your set. As Marina says, I'm her new Sunday morning pastor, right? I love this. I so enjoy coming on and doing lives and teaching in this way. Like, I'm here to teach. I'm here to teach everything that I've learned over the last 80,000 lifetimes, and those are only the lifetimes here on earth. There's all the other lifetimes that I've lived in other areas because I'm what? Omnipresent, right? I'm existing and living in all of them at once. And 0-point calibration is me taking this lifetime and making sure all of the alternate timelines, they get put into that crystal vision, that vision of what I want the world to be like. Million Dreams is a song we sing a lot in my house from The Greatest Showman. And so making that decision, making that decree that I'm no longer giving my time away for free unless it's something that I'm really loving, has meant that I'm no longer doing complimentary phone calls for people who want to take my coaching services. I have a $147 introductory location. That's one. So when I went to do a challenge, even though I had been in, just barely, got out of an amazing 5-day free challenge with Alashina Lightning, all about how to rebrand. Perfect timing. As far as I'm concerned, I created that challenge because it happened the week after I realized that I needed to stop being scared myself and jump into being the leaders of other leaders. Not that I lead them, but like helping more leaders become leaders in their own areas. And this whole branding challenge came out. I literally created a whole new LLC. I have a whole new brand coming out. Everyone who joins the leadership conference actually is getting a sneak peek into all of that, is getting an offer that is not going to be available to anybody else except for those who are in that event. Audio is cutting in and out. No! Can you hear me? Can anyone else hear me? Is that happening for other people? So audio cutting for other people. My computer, guys. Let me know. I can talk louder. Is it better if I talk louder? Talk louder. People. Better now. Okay, cool. So, so I'm not giving my services away for free. And I keep seeing all these free challenges. And I sat there and I started thinking, like, so is part of the reason why people aren't joining is because my event isn't free. Okay, can hear you loud and clear. Perfect, Marina. Awesome. And it was coming back to that. No, it's that I have set this standard that I am no longer giving my time away for free unless it's something that I really enjoy doing. My Sunday morning coffees with Caryn, I love this. I really, really freaking love it. And I actually get sad on the weeks that I can't do it. The other live streams like I did this month, I've done 3 invocations this month when I haven't done any since like November or something like that. Yeah, so it's just, so when it comes to this challenge, this event that is 5 days, it looks like what should be a free 5-day challenge. And then I remembered how many challenges I've joined that I didn't show up for, that I didn't come in and like watch all of the replays or do the homework. I know how many people were in that challenge with Alashina and who was on the live streams when they were scheduled, from the ones that had joined at the very beginning, and which ones were still on the line like the next day, and who's still commenting and who's still participating. I myself have run 5-day challenges before. Then we'll get a group of like 100 people in there, and then it's only the same 3 or 4 people who are making sure that they show up to the lives. It's only the same 4 or 5 people that are posting any of their homework in the comments. So why the fuck would I spend so much time and effort creating a 5-day challenge that is so beautiful, so powerful, that they changed those 3 or 4 people that joined my Back to Basics boot camp last year and actually showed up every day? Their lives are completely fucking different now. They have amazing conversations with their own body. They have clients that they want to work with. They showed up and did the work, and their lives changed. The people that didn't show up and do the work, they're still in the same fucking position that they were in when they joined my challenge in August. Okay? Because they have a connection to a potent as fuck container that they're too afraid to even do. So why on earth would I give away my services for free when your life can literally change in 5 fucking days? I wouldn't. So I have to stay in my own standard, okay? I don't have free complimentary sessions to work with me. I don't give away challenges for free. Just not. This I love to do. I loved creating that challenge too. One person could have, I've had live streams, guys. I've had live master classes where no one was there on the day that it was supposed to launch. Not a single person showed up. And I still showed up. And I still did the master class and fucking rocked it. And then put it up on my website and then sold a whole bunch of them after the fact. It doesn't matter who shows up. I'm creating it for me. But when I create something for me, I have to think about how I would show up to something when I price it. And if I wouldn't show up 100% for a free challenge, then I'm not going to give away a free challenge. I'm going to charge $70. It's $69. Most of you guys on here are making 20K months. If you can't spend $69 on yourself, then how are you going to make millions of dollars? How are you ever going to be able to change the world the way you want to when we know it takes financial backing? In fact, day 3 in the challenge is all about securing financial backing, because it doesn't matter what cause you are trying to lead, you need money to do it, right? Okay, so there's my little soapbox for those of you who have been wondering and messaging me and all of the things that have been happening about why I'm not giving a free challenge. You don't get me for free unless I let you get me for free, because that's my standard. I'm not a fucking prostitute. I don't give away my value. I love giving this to you. I enjoy it so much, and I want you to share it with everyone that you know. It's on YouTube. This is my channel to be able to give what I give for free. If you guys get activated as much as you do, because of my inbox always gets filled up every week, after every live stream, people I've never met before are in there. If you guys get that activated for free, think about what would happen if you invested that $147 for an invocation. Think about what would happen if you invested that $69 to join us in the challenge. Think of what would happen if you reached out and wanted to work with me one-on-one for that project that you're working on right now. Your life can change in a day working with me. One fucking day. You just have to realize that you're worth doing it. Okay, so with all that being said, oh my god, all my friends, hi Tia, hi Abby. So let's recap. 1, your big brain is giving you blue balls, okay? Stop making lists. Stop figuring out all the moving pieces. Just focus on your big vision goal and take the next step, okay? Like seriously, Frozen is just like the perfect analogy. Frozen 2, Anna's in the depths of fucking despair, and she starts singing a song called Just Do the Next Right Thing. What is the next right thing? Yeah, okay, so for her, she's thinking about what's the best way to, like, equal out the injustice that's happening. But that's what all of you guys are doing, too. All of you have some sort of injustice in the world that you want to be the leader of. Okay, the face of that movement, the face of your company, the face of whatever it is. Do the next right thing. And you can only know what the next right thing is if you have values, which is what my whole soapbox 5 seconds ago was all about. I have values. I have standards. If you don't know your why, if you don't know your standards, if you don't know your value, then like, how will you know what the next right thing is to do if you don't even know what the right thing is for you? What is right and wrong? What is good or bad? Not that those things really exist. A lot of us like to say, oh, polarity. I don't like to live in the land of polarity. If you're not living in the land of polarity, then you're living in a swamp. Like, polarity gives you structure, okay? We don't need, like crazy polarity, but yeah, you still do need, like, light and dark, on and off, hot and cold. Those are real, they're all just, like, degrees of the same thing, right? Hot and cold is just measuring temperature. But it's totally up to you. Like, hot and cold is the perfect one. My husband and I used to shower together, and we stopped showering together because he would say that I was showering too hot, and I would get into his shower and I'd be like, this is fucking freezing. And he would say, no, it's perfect. It's nice and warm. So what is hot and what is cold is bespoke. We go back to what I was talking about, how you can't compare, how you can no longer have systems, how you have to just start trusting in your own ability to always speak the truth and always be in your standard and always be a channel for whoever it is you're talking about in your own big vision way. Because what you think is hot and what I think is hot is different. Even my kids, when I make them hot cocoa, my oldest likes it a lot hotter than my little baby girl does, right? My showering, all of that, those are the same thing. So you have to decide what is right and what is wrong. That's what the biggest freaking fight in any political system is right now, is the fact that you've got a whole group of people who say this is right and a whole group of people that say no, this is right, but then they oppose each other so much. That's those extreme polarities that I'm talking about. But then what about all the people in the middle that are kind of like, I mean, I don't really give a shit if you're gay, but I don't want to have to pay for your HIV medicine. Or I don't really care if you own a gun, but I really want you to get a universal background check done first, right? There's a whole lot of us sitting in the middle of these geopolitical systems that actually don't give a fuck about the things that we hear about on the news all the time, or we've already come up with very easy solutions that when you do any research, a lot of way of fixing it. But those in power, those who are leading, are on the polarity ends. So what I hope to do, honestly, in the next 4 years, I hope to see at least 10 of my clients running for political office in 2022 and 2024. That is my own personal goal for my clients, because I want to see more metaphysical badasses going up to Washington and fixing that shit. Not because we need to be saved, but because I'm bored. I'm bored watching it. My clients are bored. You guys are all bored. You've all turned off the TV. You're not watching the news. It's really bad when the citizens of a country don't know what the fuck's going on in the country because they're bored about watching all the drama that's going on with their leaders. It's total fear-mongering. It's total bullshit. And it needs to end right fucking now, which is why I have decided to step into leadership. You guys hear me say all the time, I want to be president of the United States? Well, here she is, baby. She's stepping into it right now. Going to make sure that those people who are in the cabinet, who are in the Senate, who are in Congress when I'm president, are all going to be aligned with my values as well. That's the big picture goal, baby. That's a big picture goal. So, hi, Curtis. Hello, everyone. So, the number one thing, and I am going to say that this is the number one thing. The other two, the comparisonitis and your big brain and the blue balls, those are kind of go together. But the number one thing is that not listening to your gut or your body kills the magic, which I've already talked about actually during this entire live stream. There's a reason why there's an actual, I did a live stream like 3 years ago on this topic. You have an actual brain-gut connection. So your gut actually does connect via the vagus nerve to your brain and the decision-making parts of your brain. So that gut decision, that like, oh, guys, I don't think that's a good idea. Listen to it! But so many of you guys have stories. Oh, and I get it. I have stories too. I have so many stories I could tell you about all the times that my friends in high school went and snuck out of their houses, got drunk, got raped, got all sorts of things fucked up, had to go get abortions, had to go get Plan B, all this shit because they weren't listening to my gut. My gut told me to stay the fuck home, so I did. And I look like a pussy. I look like a scaredy cat. Sorry, pussies are actually very strong. I know this. I birthed 3 babies and have a lot of crazy sex. My pussy is strong. I looked like a scaredy cat, right? I looked like a coward. And yet I never had any sexual, like, assaulting issue. Like, I've never been sexually assaulted. I also have never put myself into a situation where my gut made me think that I could maybe get sexually assaulted. If I ever got that feeling, I didn't care that I looked bad. And the 1 or 2 times I did care, maybe I didn't get raped, but shit went down. You know, I got in trouble for shoplifting when I knew that I shouldn't be. Like, I got that feeling like, oh my God, you're going to get caught. Didn't listen to it. I got caught. Also, stop shoplifting, like, definitely a good lesson. You know, anytime that I haven't listened to my gut, I've gotten my ass kicked for it. So maybe that has to do more with, you know, what Matthew was saying at the beginning, being a manifesting generator, having that connection to my gut with human design. Human design definitely was a good thing to learn for me. I didn't dive into the rabbit hole, but I didn't need to. But it also kills the magic because of the fire that we were talking about with the baby dragons, okay? If you're sitting there blowing spitfire balls all the time, like, poof, 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 two things are going to happen. One, eventually you're going to get really tired, and you're going to have to back away into your own little nest again and back off. So those are you guys who come out full force, and then after your challenge or your group event or whatever it is that your launch, you're so tired that you're like, holy shit, that launch took everything out of me. How am I ever going to actually like do the challenge or do the group? Or you put all of your energy into planning the event so that by the time the event happens, you're actually sick that night, right? All of those different things that happen because you're just expending your energy shooting all over the place. You're also missing the mark a lot of the times, right? A lot of you guys are throwing those things out there and no one's biting, no one's catching, no one's signing up, nobody wants to donate, nobody wants to help you, nobody thinks that what you're doing is worthwhile. And that's because you have to have a lot of motivation, not inspiration, to just continuously be shooting off little fireballs. You're really motivated to eventually hit something, instead of having the inspiration of like, no, I am inspired to eat barbecued platypus. I am a vegan. I don't know why I'm using that as an analogy, because we're thinking about dinosaurs, I guess, or dragons. And so you sit there and you can be waiting, you can be calculating. But when that platypus walks across your space, don't be the second baby dragon that's like, okay, I'm going to wait. And by the time you fire, the platypus is way the fuck over here. Like, that's not going to work. You need to be planning and prepared and ready so that when the platypus walks across your space, you can go, boom, barbecue platypus. Delicious for a dragon, I suppose. I don't know where these things come from. So for many of you, what has the theme been all week? Structures, right? Structures. If you want to charge people $50,000 to work with you, your ass better have an LLC and a bank account that's attached to the LLC, not to you. Because if you could get screwed with taxes. I'm talking about America, right? Gotta be sharing massive value full time. Yeah. So you share massive value all the time, Curtis. It's I'm always sharing massive value. Just realize the more you invest, the strong, and I'm not saying that I hold out on you guys. It's just simply the energy that's pulling through because of the energetic exchange of making a monetary commitment, right? The clients that I've had that have made the most change in their lives, honestly, are the ones who have invested the most money with me. That's just because money is energy, though. So you tend to show up more for the things you invest more money in, which is why I, again, say I'm not going to do free 5-day challenges anymore. If you want to do 5-day challenge with me, I'm going to charge for them because the value in there is so amazing and worth it that I want you to make a monetary investment so that you are going to show up. Lol, yes, yeah. I'm so glad that my analogy works for you guys. My fucking metaphors. So another reason why, so let's go back to the sexual assault thing. We got about 5 minutes left before everything's going to kick me off. Sexual assault is a big thing for a lot of people, whether you're a man or a woman or however you identify. Also physical trauma. So I'm just going to throw all physical trauma. So whether it's been sexual abuse or beating, like physical, I know that we separate physical abuse and sexual abuse, but in this instance, I want to combine them back in together because it's still a physical body that we're cut off from. 95% of you, honestly, that was a nice number. 99% of you are like I was 2 years ago, totally in my big brain. And I was so disconnected from my body, I didn't even know that I had blue balls, okay? To have blue balls, you need to be able to feel your balls getting all tingly and get pissed off at the fact that you're not getting off. I didn't feel anything. My yoni was completely just like dry. You know, and so many of you guys know that your magic lives in your sacral chakra, your womb space, your hara, your yoni, whatever word you want to use. I used to have my big, amazing chakra lady behind me, so I always point to her, but she's over there now. When you're cut off, when you can, this is why people are diagnosed with so many mental illnesses right now, by the way, guys. We have this like, we have a higher heart chakra. In between your heart and your throat is this higher heart chakra, which is your connection to unconditional love. And when you have been traumatized physically and sexually, so you've been abused physically and sexually, this gets just like turned off because you don't understand what unconditional love is. You believe that the universe is out to get you. And when your higher heart, your connection to unconditional source love is cut off, you can be really connected to your higher chakras. And this is where people get diagnosed with schizophrenia, where they get diagnosed with bipolar, with hearing voices, with all this. I know schizophrenia and hearing voices often get put together, but not always. Multiple personality disorder, all that stuff is because you're so connected. You're so used to going out of your body because you've experienced so much physical pain and suffering that being out of your body is easier for you. But then, like, you can't function because we're living here in the physical space. We're living here in physical 3D where you need to be in your body. So the more that you can get out of your head and into your body, which means understanding that you're safe, understanding that there's no one and nothing that can hurt you, the understanding that there really are no victims, that we are always creating and always living exactly where we need to, and everything that we're experiencing and everything that other people are experiencing is exactly what each of our oversouls needs us to learn in this lifetime. As soon as you can really fully and completely install that belief, everything that I'm saying about getting out of your head and into your body is going to make way more sense. If you don't even feel safe in your own body, why the fuck would you go there? And yet, in the age of fiber optics, internet magic, synchronistic grid world, where we are now, where we've been since about 2018, definitely since the lunar eclipse that happened this year in January, the Armageddon timeline doesn't exist anymore. Anyone who's trying to teach you polarity, anyone who's trying to teach you how to look at all the different pieces of you instead of the whole aspect of you is living on Armageddon timeline knowledge and doesn't realize that the ascension timeline is the only one that exists now on Earth. We hit critical mass. The shadows are going to keep grabbing at it. Things are going to look really bad. There's probably going to be more things that you're like, oh my God, Caryn, you said it was going to get better. It's like that whole dark night of this. The whole planet is going through a dark night of the soul right now. Shit's going to look real bad for a while. I love you, Caryn. Going to go right. Bye, Marina. Have fun on the mountain. So yeah, so that's what I have to say to you guys this week. Why are you not jumping? Why are you not just running full force and jumping into your life? It's because you're stalling. You're trying to take calculated risks. You're trying to look before your leap. Really, honestly, this all comes down to so many of you are still living in the way that kept you safe, that got you here, and you're not realizing that what got you here absolutely is not going to get you where you want to go. My mother and I were beat for 11 years every day. Love was pain for me my whole life until I met my wife, and especially 3 years ago, reintroduced love in my life. Yeah, so exactly. So things like this, Curtis, you would then be able to tell yourself, like, there's a practice that I've done in other meditations. I can quickly kind of go through it. We're going to be doing it in the challenge if you want to join us. Is you can go back to your previous traumas and you go and speak to your child self. And you're able to go explain from a parenting, from like an older person's point of view, and go in there and divinely parent your wounded child who's still very attached to a lot of the things that happened to you when you were a younger child, and learn to love the experience. Not to like be like, oh, it was super awesome that I was beat every day, but just to love yourself for being strong enough and to try to figure out what was the lesson. So many of my clients who have had extreme sexual abuse, like I was talking about, like eventually all of them are going to meet. I know I'm not going to, like, I can't let them meet because that would be client confidentiality breaches, right? But I have about 3 or 4 of my female clients that I can think of that their divine mission is to end sexual slavery as it is right now on Earth. So all three or four, like one of them is kind of, she's all over the place, but I love her. We're still processing things. That's what their divine mission is. Yeah, I've had my awakening. So exactly. So you've had your awakening. You understand what it is that you, how to heal that. So the next step, again, so many of you guys have your processes, you have your systems, you have your tools for healing. When you find me, if you've recently, Curtis, you look like a new name. If you just found me, it's because your part of your healing, the healing part of your journey is over and you're ready to step into the creating part. So that when new wounds come in, you have your old processes, you know how to do it, but it's so second nature that you don't even realize that you're doing it. Major breakthroughs in the last 5 weeks. I am grateful. My self-awareness is at an all-time high right now. It's like I'm in a new world. Love it. Yes. And 5 weeks ago, what was I just saying, you guys? 5 weeks ago was the lunar eclipse, right? Thank you, Curtis, for proving my point. I love it when that happens. Yeah. Are there any questions? I know Instagram, you guys are going to drop off in just a second, so I'm going to say bye to y'all. I love you. And Facebook, I'm going to leave you up for just a second, see if there's any other questions going on. I also am going to leave the links for you guys for a couple of things. The first one is, of course, the challenge, the conference. We start tomorrow at noon. I'm so excited. And there's still room. There's still $69 tickets available. That's going to be available till 50 people come in, and then at 50 people, it's going to increase to $129. I channel everything, guys. Don't ask me to justify why that's happening. It's because that's what my higher self demands, period. When people ask me to justify things, I'm like, because I said so, because I'm in alignment with what I want in my life, and that's what I want in my life. And that's going to be a huge part of what we talk about in the challenge, honestly, is how to do that, how to stop justifying yourself to other people and stop trying to please, all the people pleasing and all that shit you've been doing your whole life. We're done with that too. And then also for any of you guys who might have been interested in how to work with me in my introductory offer that I had mentioned several times in this live stream, there's the link for that as well. Blah, timing. Did you miss the replay? Okay, yeah. Matthew. Silly. Watch. Oh, are you like in a place where noon doesn't work? I see. That makes sense. Sorry, I didn't understand what you were saying. Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't have a problem with any of that. I do noon because I am a mom. And that's like nap time and when I can like commit every single day. I didn't want to move the times around, honestly. That messes with me a lot. So that's fine. If you can only catch the replays, catch the replays. Send questions if you want to beforehand. Anyone who's in the challenge, you're going to have the workbook today in like an hour. So you'll be able to ask questions in advance. I'm going to be in there. It's up for a whole week afterwards too. So all of the replays will be available until March 7th. And then I'll probably be repurposing that group for something. I'm not exactly sure yet. And the invocations, like I said, those are my introductory offers. So if you want to know about dragon magic, learn about what dragons are in your space, have a invocation done for you that's specifically for you. You can experience what those invocations are like. The last yesterday and the 20th I did invocations near the end. I always tend to do them near the end of my lives. And I think that's it. I love you all. Thank you so much for showing up every Sunday. Really, like these wouldn't exist without you all. I mean, they would. I would still show up, but it makes it so much more fun when you guys show up live and ask questions, and it helps me be able to channel what it is you guys really need to hear. If you have any questions, you have any comments, anything like that, feel free to reach out. My inbox is always open. And I love you. Mwah. I'll see a whole bunch of you tomorrow inside of the Fearlessly Authentic Leadership Conference.